We good?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So the city of Hartford has double the rate of poverty that others, on average, for the state of Connecticut. The city of Hartford, the north end of Hartford in particular, right, over half the children in the north end of Hartford grow up in poverty. And this persists for a number of reasons, but the three I want to highlight today is, first, that if you succeed, right, it's a transient community, you leave. So if you do really well in school, you grow up in the north end of Hartford, your goal is to get out of the north end of Hartford, right? And so you have what is really called a brain drain. So the most successful leave and they spend their money elsewhere. And those who remain are trapped and do not have the resources and opportunities to work their way out of poverty. The second is suburban dollars aren't spent, particularly in the north end of Hartford. So if you have resources, you live in, let's say, West Hartford, you may work in Hartford, right? You may work at Travelers, and you drive through Hartford, you work and you leave. And so you never spend your economic dollars here, you don't pay taxes here, right, as that suburbanite. And so therefore, if you live in the north end of Hartford, you're denied access to that economic opportunity. And the third is really, traditional economic development is difficult, right? And it requires billions of dollars to do in the city of Hartford. The city of Hartford is full of vacant, ugly, blighted properties, right? There's a lot of blight. And to invest in that, you need both private and public interest. And you have neither in the city of Hartford because it's so expensive. The remediation, the cost of taking one property may not be super significant, but it's in a street that is unattractive. And you don't want to be the only nice factory building on a street of broken down factory buildings. And so these are the problems that Levo's North Hartford Farming Initiative is tackling. So this is 441 Homestead Avenue. Some of you actually may have driven by 441 Homestead Avenue coming here today. This plot was vacant for longer than I've been alive. And it sat like this in large part because all the other properties on Homestead Avenue, most of them look something like this, right? They may need remediation, they may be ugly. And this is just Homestead Avenue that we're talking about, right? Thousands and thousands of square feet of vacant land and blighted properties on just Homestead. The whole city is full of lots that look like this. And so this is what it looked like in November of 2024. This is what it looked like summer of 2025. In less than a year, we took a decades-old vacant lot, and with thousands of volunteers and over 40 youth in the city of Hartford who we employed, we took it from a vacant lot to a hydroponic farm that's capable of growing thousands of pounds of produce, employing local community members, and making the property look a whole lot nicer than it did before. It's a rapid solution using simplified hydroponic technology. We can take almost any plot of land, whether it's a parking lot, right? Because the beauty of hydroponics is that it's not in the ground. It's water-based. And so your ground can be full of lead, and you can grow vegetables on that ground. And the critical thing is that anybody can be taught how to be a hydroponic technician. Right? It's a very simple, straightforward technology that we can build people up with. We can build them with local labor. It's not a complex manufactured piece of technology. We fabricate them within the city of Hartford with local labor. So we can take community members, right, from the north end who don't have good job pathways, who may not have received the education required to get them to be able to work for a company, let's say like Travelers, right? They are denied resources and opportunities as adults, as young adults. And so this is a way for us to build them skills, not just in agriculture, but in a wider array of opportunities. And so not only can we tackle the food desert, but critically we can create a more beautiful city of Hartford that people want to invest in, that people want to get on the momentum that we've been creating. And we can do it at a cost that is basically unparalleled. The amount of job creation, job training, and actual product that we can create for the dollars put in. This property on Homestead Avenue was done for hundreds of thousands of dollars, not millions of dollars. But the immediate uplift of the community is real. It can be really shown in several employees that have worked with us. So Anthony, if you volunteer with Levo, you will regularly interact with Anthony in the city of Hartford. Anthony, before coming to Levo, was unemployed. He lives with his grandma on the north end of Hartford. He graduated from high school in the North End. He's an absolute dynamo if you meet him. He's charming, he's smart, he's capable. But he was denied the opportunities that so many other people are given. And so when he came to work for Levo, he had never held a drill, he had never built anything, he'd never led a group. Now, on a regular basis, Anthony teaches people how to use drills. He's a farmer. He was the primary caretaker of Hartford Hospital's hydroponic farm rooftop this year. And he is on track to be an operations lead, right? Earning real, livable wage, managing not only people in his community who he's helping employ and work with, but also interacting with corporations and volunteers that come in and work with us on a regular basis. So not only is he a farmer, he has farming skills, he has trades-based skills, and he has critically leadership and communication skills that all came from building simple frames out of 2x4s and PVC pipes that we grow plants in. Scaling out, this is where I hope Anthony to be, is Shayla. So Shayla, again, another North End resident, right? She was a good student. She came to Levo as a high school senior, a classical magnet, passionate about agriculture, and she, over the last 4 growing seasons, has taken on increasing leadership roles at Levo. So she started with a hydroponic technician. Now, last summer, she ran our youth employment program in the morning, helping teach and train and guide over 40 high schoolers from the city of Hartford in hydroponic farming. And so she is on track to be a farm manager, to help actually manage multiple farms around the city of Hartford, help us guide and grow the youth that we work with and the community members that we work with, selling the produce that we grow. The only other thing that I haven't mentioned is that buy-in. So not only is this program beautifying, but critically we've built a channel, an economic channel between the suburbia and Hartford. We run a CSA program where people buy and pick up produce every week. We actually come and deliver to several corporations, including Nassau Financial Group in the Hartford, where we come right to the companies and we drop off produce that we've grown in the city of Hartford. And so we're tackling all of these problems, right? The workforce development strategy, the economic divide between suburbia and the North End of Hartford, and building momentum at a cost that is actually feasible, right? It's not millions of dollars to convert a property. It's hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it builds that momentum. All of our structures, the other critical thing, non-permanent. So let's say I have a housing development that I want to put in, but I have to get zoning change. I have to get all this work done before I could even consider building an apartment building on it. So it's going to sit here for 6 years as a vacant lot. Or we fill it with hydroponics, built by local people, growing food for local people, and then when it's finally time to build the apartment building, if that project gets through, we pick it all up and we move it somewhere else. So it's both a semi-permanent, right, a temporary, a short-term, and long-term development opportunity. We can build real skills for people, but also critically beautify and build momentum for the city of Hartford. Every vacant lot could be a hydroponic farm, and then it could be something else. But in the meantime, we should grow food and we should train our workforce. Questions?
How can we help you today as a community?
Thank you. So we're looking to scale this program. So we have Homestead Avenue, who some of you may have driven by and seen. That's in stages of development. So the goal for that is to be a retail and destination education space. So the goal is for that not actually to be a hydroponic farm long term, is to actually be a place where people come and train and buy with us. We're now building more farms. So we have another farm going in on Enfield Street. But what we really want to do is make this citywide. So we have cities, Worcester, Bridgeport, people want to do this work that we're doing. But we want to make Hartford, right, the model that we can showcase and build out. And Hartford has lots of land, and there's lots of resources here. And so what we really need help with is tapping into those resources. So that could be, I know people who have land. I know a group that wants to volunteer, that would love to volunteer with you. I have lots of money and I want to write you a check. We love that as well, right? Any of those are options, but this is a model that requires a wide variety of people coming together and helping us build it forward. It's not super costly in the grand scheme of things, but it definitely needs buy-in.
Not only a wide variety of people, but also a wide variety of institutions. Have you linked your institution with the local schools and teachers and things?
Yeah. So
the education component.
100%. So I talked mostly about our North Hartford Farming Initiative, which is kind of what I wanted to talk about today, but we do a ton of education. So we work with close to 20 schools around the state of Connecticut. We work with on both from the university level all the way down to early childhood education. So we work with daycares and child centers to install hydroponics and help them create programming. We have a youth incarceration program that we work with. So we work with several, they're kind of like halfway homes around the state of Connecticut that they're building a job pathway for students in the incarceration system. So our expertise, we say, is really in middle and high school. When it comes to education, it's where the kind of the technology and the skill sets really overlap. But we really work across the board. It's a really, go ahead.
Just to wrap it up, there's a huge influx of investments too. You know, I think you could probably apply for it on the disconnected youth program that I've got from the state. It's a good amount where we could have programs where we could really engage the youth. And also, it was yesterday or this morning, I posted something on Facebook. They're also trying to encourage the students, the kids, to get into more vocational, technical programs.
Yeah, I don't know the specific program that you're speaking about. I don't know if that's is there a specific grant program?
Disconnected Youth was done with the Dalio Foundation.
Okay, yeah, that's new. Yeah, that he just committed that, right? Yeah. So that's right where I'm with you. That, I mean, any opportunities that you know of on that side of things.
That is one. The other one is the state itself for technical vocational training, and I'm pushing for getting kids into aircraft aviation maintenance at the airport.
Okay.
Brainerd Airport, which is literally 2 miles from here. And that's why 2-year training and you can make $70,000. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, that youth engagement is definitely a critical part of what we are working on.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Is there any opportunity for you to expand services into, or do you do anything with brownfield remediation, or?
So that's where we're working with the city at 393 Homestead this summer. So we're going to run an actual scientific trial to kind of definitively show that there is no contaminants in the stuff that we grow on a brownfield lot. But we're all above ground. So as long as it's not in the air, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to grow on it. And so to answer your question, I'm sorry, we think a huge impact that we can have for cities with brownfield lots is that we can create an intermediate step before you need the millions of dollars to remediate. We can create something on that, just any sort of momentum on that lot before we remediate it.
Okay. So it sounds like you are thinking in that, and if it's possible, it sounds like it's sort of that direction.
Yeah, it seems like we see that as a very scalable thing for us because brownfields are a thing of ubiquitous.
Hartford has a number of them, and there's a number of programs in the city to address that, and so that could open up additional funding or partnership opportunities for you.
That's the hope. Yeah, definitely. So brownfields are a big focus for us as we go. We think it's
to say nothing of the activating of the lot and shooing away the critters and dealing with
planting the flowers and making it look nice. Yeah, there's a real tie to vacant lots and crime, drug use, etc. So, yeah.
What does this look like in the winter?
It looks like green frame systems and they're sitting there. They get cleaned out. I mean, it's in my opinion, it looks nicer than a raised bed in the winter. It's farming in New England is rarely pretty, but New England in the winter, everything dies. So you got to kind of just deal with that in general. So we work on keeping this site clear so it doesn't look ugly, but it's a bunch of PVC pipes. Yeah.
I have seen some programs where they use big storage containers to do the hydroponic growing. Do you do anything like that?
Yeah, actually, I think I have they're empty, but This one right here is the Groton Public Schools. We built a container farm for them. We're going to build a couple more in Bridgeport, it looks like, this year. Those are a great educational tool. Like though the Groton Public Schools grows, I think it's all the lettuce for their middle school out of this one container. But very costly, both on the installation, but then also on the maintenance side. And so we always tell people that they should invest in greenhouses, not shipping containers. But this was a state grant, so we built them. They had the money, and so we built it for them.
And do they use it in the winter as well?
Yeah, yep. So it's operating. It's full of lettuce right now in Groton.
Do you work with local farmers markets and things?
We do.
Distribution?
Yeah, we do. We try to do as much of our own retail as we can. Farmers markets are notoriously very difficult for vegetable farmers to make money at. Usually the bread and the honey sells real well at a farmer's market, but the vegetables do not. And that's been our experience. So we've moved more towards a farm stand model where we can sell the honey and the bread in partnership, and then that allows us to sell affordable vegetables. So our focus in general is getting the vegetables as affordable as we can get them by introducing other revenue streams to subsidize that, to tackle the food desert. Because vegetables are just not as great than banana bread, you know? And so we got to sell some banana bread in order to make sure that our tomatoes are affordable.
And I see you doing indoor sort of at that school, but do you also do greenhouse projects or did I miss that?
Yeah, so that's our big focus. So we start with an outdoor farming approach because it's the cheapest and it's the most effective in the short term. And then we are investing now in greenhouses. So if you go, Homestead Avenue will be very different to look at in just 6 months from now. So we will be, the site will be building at least one large greenhouse. We're building additional hoop houses right now, but we'll break those down and we'll put up a more permanent greenhouse. And so that'll be a big focus for us, is at least season extension. New England, it's difficult economically to grow in the middle of the winter, but we expect to do a significant amount of greenhouse production in the future. Just a large capital investment.
I've driven down Homestead Ave for 20 years. Great work.
Thank you very much.
Really.
Thank you. We'd love to do it everywhere.
How'd you get involved in this?
I started it as my Eagle Scout project. So we developed, so we started the organization actually developing this technology for rural Haitian households. So that was where from 2016 to 2020 really, almost entirely we focused on developing household scale hydroponic technology for rural Haitian households. We actually have scaled that to about 300 households in Haiti that we still support with the programming. The biggest difficulty we've had over the last couple of years is fertilizer. Can't get nitrogen fertilizer into the country. So that actually has led us to create an organic fertilizer that we're working on commercializing, and actually will probably spin off from the nonprofit. And we'd like to manufacture here and as well in Haiti to establish a local supply chain. But yeah, so this started as my Boy Scout project. I went to Northwest Catholic in West Hartford. The Boy Scouts did not sanction my Eagle Scout project in Haiti, so I was separate from Boy Scouts. So my official project was from my high school, but that was really the starting point. And then my father was an experienced business and nonprofit executive, and my older brother actually had just graduated college, his undergraduate in biology, and has since gotten his PhD in plant pathology. And so he actually runs our R&D team. Yes.
So with the workforce development strategy,
Yeah.
With the at-risk youth, is there any support or resources that you see specifically in that aspect of this?
Yeah, so as we've developed this, we originally focused our languaging, if not our model, on talking about food security. And then we realized that what people really care about is the people that food security affects and the poverty. And so we've shifted our language towards focusing on workforce development. But really the model that we've built is one that agriculture is a leverage point. It's the tool that we're using to build skills. So it's not, the food is actually not the goal. It's not the product that we really are selling. It's the impact of setting up and growing the food and what that we can do for people with that process that we see the most impact on communities. So it's the food is a benefit, and it should create real impact for the city and real business continuity, so real revenue continuity for us in the long term. But we see, and we've received a lot of support and increasing support for the fact that we can build all these opportunities for particularly young people.
You've mentioned this and mentioned partnering with some of the schools. Have you partnered with some of the local organizations that focus on workforce development from like K through college?
Yes, so our workforce development program is done in partnership with Our Piece of the Pie and Ready CT, who are two workforce development programs. It's kind of a so we raise money for our workforce development program through mostly private and some now, hopefully, depending on how the grant cycle goes, public dollars. But the established workforce development programs we partner with, so they place a lot of students with us, and so we combine our training program with their training programs.
Good job.
Thank you.
This looks very exciting.
I welcome you all to come visit us this spring. Yeah, go ahead.
For you, what is your 5-year plan?
Yeah, for Levo or for me personally? Well, so we are actively working on scaling this model. So there's a couple parts of our business that I think will scale fastest. So our food is medicine programming is one of our faster growing. So Hartford Healthcare is a major client of ours. You bring us in, we'll set your farm up and we'll help you run it. So we'll either run it for you or some amount of training your staff to run it. So we want to scale that geographically, focusing on the Northeast. So our plan is to take this model and start to scale it over the next 5 years throughout the Northeast United States in particular. Basically from Massachusetts, which is where we see kind of the effectiveness of our model working. Higher than that, it stops working because of the rural, down to about the DC area we see as maybe North Carolina as kind of the limits, and then west from there. But we have a really effective urban development tool that once we scale it in a city like Hartford, I think becomes a major leverage point for cities around the country.
So Christian, I know you've got a project coming up in the spring. You want to give more details?
Yeah.
Maybe people can jump in and help out in some
Yeah,
way?
absolutely. So we do what we call our March Madness campaign in March into April. So we will be building farms in the city of Hartford. And so that's a big part of where our coalition building comes in. So if you're part of a company or a community organization, or you just want to come yourself, we have a huge volunteering push. We're going to build several hundred hydroponic systems to expand our farm.
You know, they have all the different zone offices and things. Have you spoken to them? I guess they operate through the city hall, right?
One more time, the zoning.
Yeah, there are different zones have different organizations.
The NRZs are you referring to?
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Yeah, so we're reasonably dialed in at this point in the city on the NRZ side of things. There's a fair amount of institutional inertia that we're continuing to work through on organizations and institutions, but we're getting there. City of Hartford itself is funding this project going to the spring, which is exciting. One of our properties is city-owned land that we are developing. Cool.
Any other questions before we wrap it up? Okay, great. Christian,
Thank you very much.
wonderful presentation. Really appreciate your time.